The girl stuffed a large amount of toilet paper into her mouth, but she still couldn't help barking like a dog. And in class, she'd press both hands tightly over her mouth, but she still couldn't control herself. Because of this, she was often mocked by her classmates. The teacher was also angry, thinking the girl was disrupting the classroom, so the girl was rejected by the school and ordered to leave. Even her dad felt Nina needed a special school. Just when Nina thought she'd been abandoned by the whole world, her mom stood up for her. She insisted the child was normal and shouldn't be treated specially. After being rejected by 12 schools in a row, Mom finally found a new school for Nina. That evening happened to be the opening ceremony performance. However, it was precisely because of this performance that Nina embarked on an extraordinary life. Soon the performance began, but Nina couldn't control her strange noises. This also drew everyone's displeasure. They kept signaling for her to be quiet. Soon the performance finally ended, but then the principal walked out with a serious expression. He immediately questioned what had happened, because he'd also heard the disruptive sounds. Everyone turned their eyes toward Nina. She had to boldly admit it and stand up. She thought she'd be expelled again like usual, but unexpectedly, after she got on stage, the principal made a request. He asked Nina not to make strange noises anymore, but Nina said she couldn't do that because she suffered from a condition called Tourette syndrome. It's a neurological disorder. Some behaviors were completely beyond her control. After learning about Nina's experiences, the principal decided to do something for Nina.
सर मुझे बस बाकी स्टूडेंट्स की तरह ट्रीट कीजिए प्लीज.
Looking at the pitiful child before him, the principal made a promise on behalf of the school. They would treat her just like any other student. This was the first time Nina publicly disclosed her condition, but she also received everyone's applause. It was both encouragement and affirmation, and it was from that moment on, Nina silently made a decision in her heart. She would definitely become an excellent teacher like the principal, to light the way forward for others. Years later, through her own efforts, the excellent Nina achieved dual master's degrees, but compared to getting higher education, job interviews were Nina's biggest challenge, because Nina's occasional strange noises made everyone unanimously believe Nina wasn't suitable to be a teacher. But the conviction in her heart kept her from ever giving up. This day she finally received a call from her alma mater. This was the 6th time she'd submitted her resume to her alma mater. The principal was moved by her persistence and decided to let her try. But just when Nina was happy thinking she could officially become a teacher, the principal delivered a bombshell, because Nina would be facing Class F, the worst class in the entire school. Nina quickly noticed something unusual too. The classroom was completely empty at that moment. The principal told her, Class F students had driven away 7 teachers in 1 month. No one was willing to teach Class F. They could only give the students a break. That's why they were hiring her as a teacher. The principal told her to think it over carefully, but Nina agreed without hesitation. But she didn't know what kind of bad students she was about to face. On her first day, Nina arrived at the classroom early. These bad students also gradually showed up. Then Nina began her self-introduction, but the constant strange noises during it instantly became the object of their mockery. But Nina didn't get angry. Instead, she pulled out $100 and slapped it in front of a boy. It turned out that before class, these kids knew a new teacher was coming, so they set up a bet. Some bet she wouldn't last 3 days. Some even bet she wouldn't last 1 day. Nina happened to see the scene. Confident Nina bet she could last until the end. She thought she could dampen their spirits a bit, but the very next second, the students burst into laughter. However, this was just the beginning. The next day Nina came to the classroom again. She discovered someone in the class was having a conflict. A student even passed out because of it. Nina was terrified by this scene. She quickly called security, but when they returned to the classroom, inside it was surprisingly quiet, as if nothing had happened. Only then did Nina realize it was all their trick. In the days that followed, the students launched an even fiercer attack. During class, they brought in a bucket full of dry ice while Nina's back was turned. By the time Nina reacted, the classroom was filled with billowing smoke. After class, these students made Nina's contact information and photo into flyers. They posted them everywhere. Nina was harassed quite a bit because of this. And near the end of the workday, they'd steal the gas from Nina's car in advance, causing Nina's car to stall halfway. She had to push the car home. But one day these kids caused a major disaster. They poured liquid nitrogen into a bottle, then covered it with small balls. When Nina came to the classroom, it was empty. Only this bucket was left in front of her. As Nina was puzzled, the liquid nitrogen inside expanded from heat and exploded. The classroom windows were damaged as a result. The principal was furious when he learned of this. He threatened to expel these kids. These kids also knew they'd gone too far this time. But at this moment, Nina stood up. She lied, claiming it was all her carelessness that led to an accident during the experiment, and had nothing to do with these kids. The kids were surprised. It was the first time someone had stood up for them, but anyone could see Nina was protecting them. But seeing Nina so determined, the principal still gave them another chance. But the condition was, they had to pass the final exam in 4 months. Afterward, These kids returned to the classroom again. Their eyes seemed full of guilt. At this moment, Nina took out a pointed piece of chalk and drew 2 horizontal lines on the blackboard. The harsh sound of chalk scraping against the blackboard made the kids uncomfortable. Then she broke off a small piece of the chalk's point. The harsh sound disappeared. Nina wanted to tell the students. They were like chalk with a sharp point right now. Perhaps if they just made some small changes, the outcome would be full of surprises. Nina wanted them to make their own choice, whether to make a change, or continue being annoying troublemakers. They agreed to meet in the classroom at 9 tomorrow. If the kids didn't come, she would submit her resignation letter to the principal at 9:10. After school, the kids gathered together. Some thought the teacher was right. It was time to make a change, but others still said the teacher was dreaming. How could students like them possibly pass the final exam? The next day, Nina appeared in the classroom on time, but time ticked away minute by minute. The classroom remained empty. Disappointed, Nina was about to get up and resign, but just then, these kids walked in one by one. The boy who'd organized the bet also returned the money, because Nina had won this bet. Just when everyone thought these kids could get back on track, something unexpected happened again.